Another week, another episode of Packmasters. Welcome back. It's episode 2. We've got Augur and Lavender about to join us shortly for their pack openings. And for those of you just tuning in, you missed the first episode. Packmasters is a unique take on the progression series, where instead of only going through one set sequentially until, the end of time, the packs stay in the shop, and players are always able to go back and dip into those packs throughout the series. Of course, they'll have to make critical decisions based on the cards that not only they need, but maybe on some juicy rares that they're chasing, or a few effects that they might want to revisit as later packs open up. So stay tuned. We've got episode 2 coming right up, and you can expect episode 3 in just about 2 weeks. We're going to be trying to keep a 2-week schedule for this series. At the same time, I do want to just thank you for those of you who have been who joined us for Yu-Gi-Oh! I do want to let everybody know that at this time, unfortunately, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is kind of going on the essentially equivalent of an indefinite hiatus, aka canceled. One of our drafters, Zphil, when we returned, who was on a break, and when we all returned, we had a bit of a discussion, and with the amount of time that the episodes were taking and the interests, we decided that it was better if we shifted our focus to doing some other stuff that we want to do together as a trio of friends. But we definitely didn't want to stop bringing you Yu-Gi-Oh content. I've been really enjoying getting into this game as a longtime Magic player, so Packmasters was supposed to be our second series, but is now going to be our main series until I can either find somebody new to take over Packmasters and play alongside me, or I start another new project. But for now, it'll probably be Packmasters for the next couple of weeks. Just wanted to let people know in case they were really, really tied to the Yu-Gi-Oh! I wouldn't want you sticking around hoping for more episodes, wondering where we've been. I did want to be very honest and upfront and letting you know that for now, unfortunately, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is going to be put to sleep, and we're going to have Packmasters replace its slot. So I won't keep you waiting any longer. Let's get into the pack opening here in week 2 of Packmasters. But you didn't have any choice in what you could open. And I guess people could argue there's not a lot of choice. There's only 2 sets unlocked, but I think there is a real choice here. So I'm really interested in hearing where you're thinking to put your 30 packs today.
Okay. Well, something that should be noted is Cybernetic Revolution is a bonkers set. This is a set that really defines the end of GOAT format, mostly because of this one card, which I assume any Yu-Gi-Oh! Player would be familiar with, Cyber Dragon. So good that it became its own archetype later on.
That's true.
And even here, it has stuff like Cyber Twin Dragon, and it was a very powerful threat. But I was looking through the Lost Millennium, and I realized there's actually a few heavy hitters in here. At common, no less. In the super slot, we have Brain Control and we have Mega Rock Dragon, which are both very powerful cards in their own right. And then we have a few cards like Guardian Statue, Lost Guardian, Medusa Worm, Moai Intercept Cannon. Some of these are better than others, but it makes a decent Pac-Man strategy. And I don't have all the cards for that, but as you saw, my deck is very defensive, and this could make very good use of that.
Any thought to Elemental Hero?
Absolutely not. That's unplayable.
We're not playing.
It's unfortunate,
we're not playing the protagonist deck.
Yeah, but unfortunately, these cards are just too bad.
Yeah, I know.
They just suck too much.
They're not great.
But Cybernetic Revolution has a lot of cool cards in it.
It feels like Cybernetic has a lot of high rarity stuff. Like, what does Cybernetic have?
It does have a lot of high rarity stuff. But really, what determines the outcome for me was a single card, Drillroid. Drillroid is a common and invalidates defensive decks. As you can see here, it just destroys things. So, Augur, if she went into this pack and picked up Drillroids, would completely hose a flip deck.
That's correct.
So my logic is that, and also we have a few vanillas here that are 3 stars and pretty high attack.
Are you telling me Gravity Bind is still on the table?
Yeah. If Gravity Bind is still on the table, we also have Indomitable Fighter Lele as a 2300 attacker, and yes, it dies after that, but it's still a 2300 attacker.
Mm-hmm.
Funnily enough, it's strictly better than Goblin Elite Attack Force. Maybe not strictly, but 15 defense versus 0 defense doesn't really matter in this case.
Are there any
But yeah,
rares that
so
are? I mean, I know it's hard to pull the ultimates, the secrets, but are there regular
yeah.
rares or anything that you're maybe hoping to pull as well?
In terms of regular rares, the only two I'm really excited for are System Down, which
Mm-hmm.
is a very good counterplay to a Cyber Dragon deck, and Dimension Wall, which is okay.
Mm-hmm.
It would be better if I had some sort of dedicated burn deck, but obviously that's not in the cards.
Fair enough. All
So,
right. So what's
30
the numbers?
packs of Cybernetic
Yeah, that's what I
Revolution.
thought. Just straight up cybernetic all the way. All right.
Yep.
My fingers are crossed.
There's a Drill
There's a
Roid.
drill roid.
Rising Energy is not the most embarrassing card. It's just a buff.
That's a good start.
It's a Rush Recklessly.
There's your fighter.
Steamroid is also a very aggressive card. Indomitable Fighter Lele is, something.
Mm-hmm.
I like picking up Dragon's Mirror for
Wow.
the future.
Second drill roid.
Another Drill Roid is nice. Mad Lobster.
You know what? 30 packs of cybernetic is going to give you some consistency. Because, well, okay, there's the third drill roid. But,
There is the third Drill Roid. And a Jerry Beans, man. It's funny that this is a real consideration. He's such a meme.
I love it.
I
It's a
pulled my first
1750.
super as well, Skyscraper.
Elemental Heroes.
But it is Elemental Heroes, but I don't think that's
I have very
really
fond
anything.
memories of middle school Elemental Heroes with one of my friends at the time who would always call Elemental Hero, what is it, Burstinatrix, right? Would
Yep.
always call it Elemental Hero Buntrix. And that just stuck with me for so long. And then afterwards, you learn that the cards are absolutely unplayable.
Yes.
But it was so cool, like elemental themed superhero. I thought it was really lovely. I'm a big fan of it.
And there have been. Ooh.
Ooh,
Sorry to interrupt, but I just got Power Bond.
you're gonna have to remind me
This
what it does.
is
Fusion
a
summon
very good card. It is a fusion card that
gains attack.
uh,
Ooh,
that doubles the attack of the fusion. If I pull enough Cyber Dragon stuff,
okay. Well, you
this
need
is very good.
you need a
But
machine fusion monster, so hopefully.
exactly. Here's Goblin Elite Attack Force, which is probably going to end up in my deck.
What does Rottweiler do? Sorry, I feel like I've seen that.
It is a
Oh,
elemental
okay.
hero card. It's not very good.
And it brings back
Um,
it brings back a poly.
Elemental hero and polymerization. A second power bond. That's nuts. That is a lot of consistency
Honestly,
and
yeah.
means I might be going back into
There was
Cybernetic Revolution next week.
There was
I
a
don't
Jerry
think this
Beans
is any good.
again. That's what's going to be so interesting about this series, and it's really funny because to me, I mean, the idea was just like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you could actually play like, because I've seen people do History of Yu-Gi-Oh, where obviously they're
Yep.
just playing constructed, they're deck building, but no one did History of Yu-Gi-Oh, but not like one box per set, and I thought it was just so
Right.
cool to say, hey, it's like if the packs were in the shop, you can just keep going back and buying whatever
Yep.
you want, and I
I
think it's
do
going
want
to
to point
make
out
a
that I just pulled an ultimate
oh
rare.
there.
It's
Ooh.
only of a rare, but that's cool, I guess.
You have so many
Uh,
Drillroids and Rottweilers. Well, I think that's your third Jerry Beans, man. Fourth.
okay, that is Cyber Twin Dragon. That's a very nice
Well,
pickup.
that's what you
I'm
were kind of
glad to
looking
have that.
for.
Fusion Recovery is not bad if I go deeper into that. I'm still not seeing a whole lot I like.
Do you
I do
really
want to just point out
need?
Pot of Generosity for a second,
Okay.
because they wanted to reverse Pot of Greed and they made a terrible card.
This is return. Wow, is this unplayable? Like,
It's absolutely unplayable.
okay.
There is no circumstance where you're going -3 to play that thing. I
Let-
still don't have any.
Steam Gyroid is
Uh,
a machine fusion for
it is.
right? It's a 20. But it's not like I think you have Gyroids and Steamroids, right? Already, like
I do.
at least that one. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
there it is. There it is. That is number one. I want at least two,
Well, I mean, yeah, just the one is big.
but that's greedy. That is very greedy.
I mean, again,
So
week by week,
nothing really here.
you can keep putting a few packs into Cybernetic every week until you pull another one.
That's probably what I'm gonna do.
I mean,
Let's
do you know
see.
how
I'm
how
not
many
seeing
Drillroids
much.
you've pulled? Oh my
Too
gosh.
many. We can check at the end, but I wouldn't be surprised if I pull a ton. Miracle Fusion is cool.
Cybernetic
Cybernetic
Magician.
Magician is
Discard a card.
eh.
It just sets someone's attack to 2,000. I like the flexibility on it. It can make something
It
on your
does,
side
yeah.
big or okay. That's not the worst looking. But was it a 2 tribute or a 1 tribute?
One tribute. If it
Okay.
was two tribute, it would be
Okay.
unplayable. I have pulled a lot of drill roids, but that's not saying
It's
much.
absurd the amount of drill roids I've seen. Yeah.
Fire darts is a
It's
burn
so
card
what?
technically,
It's
but
so
it's not
weird.
great.
You have to have no cards in hand. This is
Yeah.
the last pack already, Lavender. You ready?
Yeah, let's go. Cyber Dragon, come
Let's
on one
go.
time.
Cyber
Well, it is another
skyscraper.
skyscraper. That's
Okay.
unfortunate.
So 11 drill roids.
11 drill roids. That's kind of what you get from GX sets because
Yeah,
there's not that many cards in them. It's very common to get a million commons of one kind. And here we go, the Cyber Dragon.
that's really big. Remind me. So can I read Power Bond one more time? I want to check something. It's
Yes, go
fusion
ahead.
summon machine fusion from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. Does it have to be like the correct material, right? So for Cyber
Yes,
Twin Dragon, it would have to be
this requires
two
two
Cyber
Cyber Dragons,
Dragons.
correct.
Okay.
Now, there are
Um,
ways to get around that, but we don't have access to many of them yet.
there's
I
like
might have
these.
something in my collection, I'll have to double check.
There's a few monsters that can be used as substitute, right, and stuff like that. So
Yes, and if I pulled them, I
yeah.
would play them.
Well, I
Of
mean,
course, I don't think anything is really viable right now with just one Cyber Dragon, but I have a lot of additions to my collection that I'm going to be making.
so obviously deck building will happen in a bit, but and that Cyber Dragon's definitely going in. You were talking about the Drillroids. Is there anything else that you're looking at that you're saying, yep, absolutely, let's make some changes?
Um, Not a whole lot. I think Jerry
Jerry
Beansman and Mad
Beans, yeah,
Lobster
that's more
are
17s.
pushing
Yeah.
me in a direction of getting more aggressive. It would be
Okay.
really nice if I had some equip spells to do stuff with. And Skyscraper is nice.
hmm
Uh,
But yeah,
I but I can't do much with it.
yeah.
Cybernetic Magician might make it into my deck, and I have 3 copies of Dimensional Wall, so there may be some sort of burn strategy
Oh yeah,
online.
that's true. You have 3 copies of them.
But
Yeah.
I don't think it's great. I am very worried about Augur's collection
Augur has
because
a
she has some really crazy cards.
in
So we'll
in
see how
time.
things go.
In time, if things get too crazy, I'm sure Hall of Fames or some banning might occur. We'll see.
Oh, absolutely. And I expect that to happen at some point.
All right. Well, hey, love the packs, love the picks. I love the choice of 30 Cybernetic. Augur hasn't picked the packs yet, but and I definitely won't spoil what you did. But I'm looking forward to seeing what you build and seeing what the matches look like later on this episode. All right, Augur. We've had Lavender's packs already opened, and I have been dying all week to know what you plan on opening for this first real use of the pack tickets. So, what do you have in mind?
All right. Well, obviously, don't tell me, but I'm curious if Lavender said something similar to this. I would love to skip the Lost Millennium entirely. So let's talk about that. And the reason for that is something was really clear to me when playing against Lavender last week, or I guess 2 weeks ago, however it shakes out, which is my cards are way better just in terms of stats.
Yeah, so I wasn't gonna say
I
anything, but the raw cards that you have versus Lavender's pool is kind of nuts.
mhm. Like I know Lavender called out the spell trap differential, but for
hmm
me, I was just like staring at Death's Feral Imp, the 1600, 1800. I was so happy. I was like, oh man, like if this is all I have to deal with, that and Warrior Digrapher, I think I'm in a really good spot for these next few weeks. Especially because you haven't quite experienced it in your prog going into GX, but the quality of these cards drops pretty significantly for these first several sets.
That's wild to
Just
think
in
about
terms
it,
of
because we're what GX was 2 3 years in, 2 years in,
mhm.
and the quality is that much different. I mean, there's got to be some. I mean, obviously, it's that sort of. I'm going to use the magic analogy here. You know, like yeah, you've got like the alpha stuff, like some absolutely cracked original cards, like we were talking about Legend of Blue Eyes and like really the first sets and like all those super high end spells and traps that are just absolutely nuts. But the creature quality early on is really poor. Like I mean, we're way past a Skull Redbird, right? Um,
Mhm.
are you telling me that Lost Millennium just doesn't have quite a lot to offer in the stat department or stuff?
So my pet theory is that this is an attempt to
Reset, kind of.
stime power. Yeah, reset stime power creep. Do a little bit of a stat squash. The strongest normal summonable monsters at common in the Lost Millennium have 1600 attack.
Interesting.
And
Interesting.
I know this might be ironic to say about a set with Cyber Dragon in the next set and Brain Control in this set, but they move sort of towards a slightly more synergistic, in my opinion, way, especially with the introduction of elemental heroes, the
Yes.
first actual playable archetype. Sorry, if you were playing the Archfiends, good luck to
Well,
you.
there's Gravekeeper, right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
I
I
would
I
so
apologize,
what we hadn't
and
realized is it kind of went from just value good stuff. We were entering what I would call the we had a period where the elements sort of mattered, like the dark, the wind, and then we're kind of moving into I think the set we just opened had warrior, spellcaster, fiend. So like they were you could see where they were going dragon, right? Because we just got like stamping destruction and or am I pronouncing is it stamping is it what it's called stamping
yep.
destruction, okay, so like we were getting into that, so I could see them moving towards a synergy, but it was still very broad. But then I know there's gravekeepers, I know there's stuff like that, and I that's what I actually really like about Yu-Gi-Oh. I like the name packages. So
Mhm.
I was playing in this era, like I remember being in middle school and my friends swore by the elemental heroes, like the protagonist deck, and apparently it's absolutely garbage. You do not want to be caught dead playing elemental hero burstinatrix, right? But it's really funny because my memories growing up were like, wow, elemental heroes are cool. I sure love those cards. So it's just fun the reality between like TV show protagonist showcase cards and like what actually is going on. So
Oh yeah. So for context, I'm younger. I was a Magic head. I never even touched Yu-Gi-Oh until like 6 months before Master Duel came out.
oh wow, I
So I can say with confidence these elemental heroes suck. I have no nostalgia for them. Uh,
I could not have
but I think,
told that because I feel like you've been playing forever because you know your stuff. So
oh goodness. Well, I parrot what people say who are smarter than me. So,
well,
well,
you've gone through a progression series of your own already. So you've gone through these sets, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I've done a one-on-one progression personally,
Well, there you go.
and it was a lot of fun.
That's
So I am excited to be back here.
and that's why
I'm excited to walk in with my slightly overstated monsters and my slightly better spells and traps and try to ride that wave as far as possible.
well, we started
Which is
discussing
why
already the
mm,
potential ban system. We won't talk about it now, but um, there will be what is it? There will be a reckoning eventually on certain cards. But
no.
yes, so from what I saw you in the packs, looks like you're going to open a heck of a lot more of Cybernetic than Lost Millennium. Is there a reason why you're dipping a few packs into Lost Millennium?
Yes, I was about to touch on that.
Perfect.
So most of our packs are going into Cybernetic Revolution. Uh, one of those reasons is Cyber Dragon. Very potent, has a lot of fusion stuff available in now and in the future. It is overall just a pretty fun card. Cybernetic Revolution is also where they. I I know I said the stats are worse, but and I agree the stats are worse. You can't just normal summon a 1900, but there are at the very least interesting cards in
Hmm.
here. You have Steamroid, you have Indomitable Fighter Lele, you have Gyroid for a very defensive wind monster, and Drillroid. Cybernetic Cyclopean is alright as well. The other important thing is that we have 2 3-star high attack normal monsters at common.
That's true.
So if Lavender tries to run back the gravity bind strategy, this is a built-in counter to that, just going into the best set,
Hmm.
alongside a really potent trap card in Spiritual Wind Art Miyabi. So this set is really just tailor built for me to go in as far as possible. And it even has like a number of cards that'll continue being useful. Dragon's Mirror,
Hmm.
uh, Power Bond, Miracle Fusion, all cards I would love to play in the future. Dimension Wall, if I end up playing Burn. And one of my personal favorites, one that I doubt I'll get to assemble, is UFO-roid Fighter. Which is at ultra rare.
Is it also shown?
Now,
there was a copy above. Was that a short print, the one that you were mousing over before, or was it?
This is ultimate rare, which I assume is like all foils.
Okay. Well, yeah. UFO-roid, Warrior, Fusion Summon. Speaking of fusions, you do have access to 3 polymerization. Just putting it out there. We've discussed it.
Indeed.
So that's on the table.
Indeed. And that is one thing I'm hoping to pick up from these 5 packs, is maybe if I can pick up an Elemental Hero Thunder Giant.
Okay.
The problem with these early fusion monsters is it's a lot of investment.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be playing Sparkman, playing Clayman, you draw them in the polymerization, you commit 3 cards to it, and then you die to bottomless trap hole.
Yes.
Actually, and one thing that I like about UFO-roid Fighter is, A, it's generic, so as long as you're playing a high enough density of warriors, you only really need 2.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is, later on, we will have access to Future Fusion that comes out in GX.
Yep.
And this, along with UFO-roid, allows you to foolish a warrior monster, which can be beneficial for stuff like Miracle Fusion. Anyways, yes, but I was touching on what I wanted out of these packs. I would love to see the Thunder Giant and the Brain Control, but the reason we're going 5 is to pick up some of these defensive cards, but specifically a copy of Elemental Hero Sparkman.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've touched on this in my past deck profile, I have Reinforcement of the Army.
Yeah, it's true.
Which the targets I was running for it were Cliff the Trap Remover and Disc Fighter. And I think I specifically called out, I wish I had like Warrior Digrapher or something, who's just an okay warrior guy, just to search off of it. And here's Sparkman, who is a 1600. He's a light for my Chaos Sorcerer.
That's true.
He's something I really want to pick up to the point where I'm willing to throw 5 packs in, which statistically, I did the math, should result in 1 copy.
I love that you went and mathed it up perfectly. Okay, I'm excited.
All right. So this is my hard commit. 28 packs of Cybernetic Revolution and 5 of the Lost Millennium.
All right.
Let's see. How do I... There we go. We're opening the Lost Millennium first.
I agree with that. I think that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. You ready for this?
I'm absolutely ready. Let's do this.
Heck yes. All right. We'll open the first one. Lone Wolf is always a very funny one. Because it creates a towers, but only for monster effects. The other thing is Chusuke, Monk Fighter, and Master Monk just aren't very good.
That's wild.
Okay, so Des Wombat is another 3-star monster that has the ability to attack under Gravity Bind and also stops that freaking koala.
Mm-hmm.
White Ninja is another light warrior that I might run in place of Sparkman if I don't get it.
Effect, yeah.
Medusa Worm is a super potent defensive split monster, because if your opponent can't out it and they're reduced to setting in defense, they might as well just not set anything at all.
Yep.
And then here's something where I mentioned with the synergies. There's a little monk synergy package in this for some reason. All right, let's keep going. Got Clayman, not quite the Sparkman. We're seeing some of these Charmers as well, which I would love to be a tech. Unfortunately, the typical thing that happens is that they're attacked into, they flip, and then they die.
Yeah.
So you don't really get any value off of them.
Yeah, they were in some of the precons that I first started like really playing Yu-Gi-Oh with. So.
Sparkman, there we go. We got exactly what we wanted out of these packs.
There's the one of with 2 more packs to go. So.
And yeah, and we've also got a second Des Wombat and a Guardian statue. So this is really...
That's really not bad for just a few packs in.
Everything. Another Medusa Worm.
Sparkman.
A second Sparkman. Mid-Shield Gardener. Oh, yes, that guy. Yeah, I mean, not a lot of stuff that's super impressive, but we got exactly what we wanted. What am I looking for out of this? I mean, again, the Thunder Giant, the Brain Control, maybe the 3rd Medusa Worm.
There's your Monk Fighter.
There we go. Yeah, and you can see he is not great. He's not great. I don't know. Maybe if Lavender really wants to run back the Gravity Bind, I'll counter with Monk Fighter Control.
All right, let's see that card.
And the last card is not Brain Control, but DD Survivor.
Okay, I had a copy of this card as
Uh,
a kid, so I remember the art was super cool. I remember being a big fan of it.
I agree. But the other thing is that these guys form a lock if you have a dimensional barrier on the field, since it will be banished and then come back. And that's a very oh wait, this guy's also an 1800
It's an
warrior. I
1800
genuinely completely
dark,
missed that. I thought he was a
1800 dark
fiend.
warrior. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I've immediately supplanted my goal of Sparkman with this guy.
Well, there you go. All right.
Okay. Now for the real stuff,
Cybernetic.
the meat and potatoes. Get some chest hair on that. Oh my
Wow.
lands. And we have the Cyber End Dragon. So for now, this is only usable if we do pull, 3 Cyber Dragon. But later on, there's Proto Cyber Dragon. There's, all the legacy support.
Mm-hmm.
That's stuff that is stuff that treats themselves as Cyber Dragon. We also have another set of stuff we wanted in the Gyroid and the Jerry Beans Man.
Yeah.
Giant Kozaki. We are not going to play this, but he's very funny.
Alrighty.
All right. We're going to keep going here. Drillroid.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Jetroid. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I thought he was like Gyroid, but nope, he is much worse. We have a DD Trap Hole for set monsters.
Drillroid again.
Indeed. I'm happy to see more Drillroids. Drillroids is always decent because in addition to having 1600 attack and a good effect,
Yep.
just also 1600 defense.
It takes out defense monsters, right? It's the
exactly. Just without calculation.
Yep.
And then we also get the first, I believe, Spiritual Wind Art Miyabi. So this is a reason to really strongly play an attribute typed deck because removal for any type of card, including Gravity Bind, is really potent. I think this is the second time I've said the word potent this episode.
So yeah, generic removal is really good to see, right? So
I think the tribute is of course a cost.
Yeah.
But and my removal package is good enough that it might not make the cut. I might not run that sort of pack, that wind typal or attributal, but it's a great option to have going forward. And the Indomitable Fighter Lele, a very funny card. Lele is best thought of, to quote somebody smarter than me, as a 23,000 defense monster.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Jiraigumo philosophy where you can also just park it and attack and just,
Exactly. There's also, I think there's a card in here that will change it back to a couple. Yes, prepare to strike back.
Okay.
Which is if you
call it right, change it to attack. That's really funny.
Yeah. So if you call it right, then it goes back to attack. If you call it wrong, it basically pierces.
I'd imagine that's not necessarily the deck you're looking to build next week.
No, but it would be very funny. Very funny. A Goblin Elite. I don't know. This is the payoff for that deck, I guess.
That's true. And Mad Lobster, I guess, right? As a 1700 3-star.
Exactly. That and Jerry Beans Man. There's also Evan Magician Curran. Not very good, but does appear on Arrival appears, which I believe is also in this set. Okay, the second Mad Lobster. System Down.
Yeah.
This is a good counter if Lavender ends up on the Cyber Dragon strategy. Yeah. We have not seen a Cyber Dragon yet.
It's exactly the kind of card that we're not really going to be playing in the Yu-Gi-Oh progression series because we don't use sideboards. But it's too risky, I think, putting these kind of cards in your main board, especially with 2 opponents and not just the one, right? So
exactly.
I like that there's a home. Oh, there's something that I know you were talking about earlier in Miracle Fusion.
Indeed, Miracle Fusion. So I think one of the good things about Elemental Heroes is density. There's a lot of cards that mention Elemental Heroes. A lot of them aren't particularly good. Like there's a whole series of Avian equips that just don't really do anything. But Miracle Fusion is one of those things where you're like, oh, this is actually a reason to play this sort of deck. Reduces the value hit that you take off of getting your Thunder Giant or whatever
Mhm.
just obliterated.
Were you looking to get
And
more than one
this is
copy, or you're
another-
perfectly happy just with one copy of it?
I would love more than one. Even if I don't end up playing it, I forget when there's always more hero support. They always end up printing more hero stuff.
I like heroes.
The Dragon's Mirror. That's a fun one.
Yeah, and a Jerry Beans man. I love that we're still saying, "Hey,
Exactly.
1750s are still
Exactly.
relevant in this world." It's the three.
Well,
it's the fact that it's level 3 is honestly one of the big ones. Was Gyroid one of the ones you were looking for?
Yes, so it is
Okay.
level 3. It's a pretty nice part of that wind package
Mhm.
because it's pretty defensive and it's also a level 3 itself.
Mhm.
So in the progressions that I had done, we would typically reset our collections at the start of each era.
Oh, okay.
So Gyro definitely played more of a role because it's in basically the second set we would open. So maybe it won't even make an appearance.
That's cool.
Maybe Mad Lobster will be the MVP.
It's actually kind of nice knowing that once you hit an end of an era, you get to reset and then only work from within that era. Probably balances out some pretty wild early high rolls. So
Indeed. It also makes banning stuff a lot easier.
Yes.
Because unless you do like emergency bans, sometimes you just end up where one player just has too many cards.
Mhm.
Okay, here's the mentioned arrival appears. Select a face-up monster your opponent controls, special summon a monster from your hand with the same level. Given that, there will probably be a number of 3 to 4 star monsters running around.
If you do that during combat, let's say like on attack, do they get to reselect attack? Is there? I know there's a rule about reselecting attack targets when when there's a change on the battlefield, or you might have to remind me of that rule because I'm actually not 100% sure on the logistics
Yes,
of
I think if it's before attack deck, there's like a window, like of course during the damage step. So it's called redeclaring.
Redeclare,
So your
okay.
opponent can redeclare.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with the specifics of what window it would be.
Okay.
But yes, if you do it during the battle phase, your opponent will probably get to redeclare onto that monster.
Okay.
But you can just do it end of turn.
Super.
Okay, what are we seeing here? Bubble Man,
All
very
right.
cute, very conditional. I know this was the big turnabout for Jaden Yuki. And
I like
another thing about
the
me,
art.
I never really watched the anime.
That's all right. I love the art on Bubble Man. I think the idea of elemental like superheroes is very cool. Big fan.
Mm-hmm. I just think it's funny that he looks, like Batman.
Yep. Bubble Man it is.
And then this is another synergy card with Indomitable Fighter Lele, which is very fun. But again, probably will not see play. This is the third magical explosion. That's great if I end up playing Burn, I suppose.
That's true.
That will not be for a while. Let's see. What else do we have here? Bubble Shuffle. What is this?
And Bubble Man. Oh my gosh. Target a face-up attack Bubble Man you control and a face-up attack monster your opponent controls. Change both those targets to defense. Then tribute the elemental hero Bubble Man. Then summon an elemental hero monster from your hand. That seems like way too many words to do very little.
Yeah, that's the thing with a lot of these elemental hero cards.
And ultimate rare too. Think of all it could have been.
Mm-hmm. It could have been $6. Look at that.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Xian Spy. That's I don't know. Maybe we get to kill Lavender with this 45 sets down the line. Give him the gimmick puppet.
All right.
Fire Dart. I've never read this card.
No cards in hand. 6-sided die 3 times and inflict damage to your opponent equal to the sum of the die rolls. So it can be anywhere from 300 to what? 8 yeah.
So it's an average of like 1,000.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
I'd rather just. Oh, there. Thank goodness.
You've got one.
I saw the fire darts first, and I was like, I don't want to talk about Path right now. I want to talk about 2,100. That's the only number I care about.
I saw that machine, and I was like, oh, there it is.
Oh,
yep. With
Light Machine, 5 stars, redefine the game.
Yep. 12 packs left. There could be more than one lying in these packs.
I'm crossing my fingers. I mean, if I pull 3, I might just play that.
Oh my gosh! If you
Cyber End Dragon. No, we pulled the 3rd fire darts instead. Okay. Conscription, a very greedy card, will not be played by me, but very funny in a smaller scope progression when this is your second set. Just see
Absolutely,
if you
yeah.
can steal your guy. So what else are you going to play? Giant Kazaki? This is not looking great. Well, I mean, it's. I'd say this is looking good so far. I would have loved to get the brain control. I think that's the one thing I'm sad about.
I mean, we've pretty much picked up most of what you wanted, minus one or two cards from Millennium.
I think this is the third Jerry Beans man too, which is perfect. Rising Energy.
Okay.
Not a very good battle trap, but it is a battle trap.
Because you're kind of 2-for-1ing yourself. I mean, if you can
Yeah.
leverage that discard, I don't know.
But sometimes
you got to OTK.
Well, sometimes Rush Recklessly won't make the difference.
Man, I remember seeing
Like
Rush Recklessly
Chaos
and
Sorcerer or something.
being like, wow, 700. And now we're like, look at what we got here. Masks and rising energies.
Indeed. Steam Void, also very useful in niche conditions.
Okay.
I think I just have better monsters.
It grows when you attack.
Might see play on the side.
But if it's attacked, it loses. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a 2,300 on attack, the same as Lele, but a 1,300 on defense.
It's honestly not horrid, but I feel like your quality is already higher, and it's Earth, right? You're not.
Yeah, I have the Gigantes, but not a lot of other Earth payoffs. Miyabi is easily the best one.
True. It's really funny that like Lavender ended up winning, even though you're getting actually the most advantage out of these picks right here. So
I know. I'm hoping I just lose until I win every match. I just get more packs.
The inverse steamroll. The definition of failing upwards.
Wall.
Yeah, Dimension Wall is one you were thinking of if ever Burn's an option down the road.
Exactly.
You planning on
does not involve dice rolls.
You planning on playing a Pot of Generosity? Lavender read the card text and I was offended by what this card does.
I think that the face is so funny.
Can you imagine opening packs and finding this card? Like, what do you do with it? Like, turn it into a coaster?
I mean, this is what I'm saying about GX. Like, look at half of this cards. Giant Kozaki.
There's stuff in Duelist Kingdom that was really bad too. Like, we went over some of the cards that had like this, like, peek at your opponent's hand or top deck archetype, and I was like, who's wasting slots on this?
That's true. Well, that's the system down.
So many system down. I almost like to say that's your fourth instead of your third, but I feel like I've seen a lot of system downs. Not that we want to be seeing. There's your
that's the
definitely
fourth fire
third or fourth. Yep. So Deathfrog is like.
I did want to call out. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Go ahead.
I did just want to call out Spiritual Water Art Owie because I said that the wind one was the only worthwhile one.
Oh, but this one's a hand attack, right?
Yeah, it's good. But typically, with board presence, you can, or with the wind one, you can destroy a board presence thing that your opponent has invested a little more in.
Yep.
Hand
attack almost feels weird in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because, like, if they're on high numbers of, like, spell traps, sometimes they just load up the board, and it feels like hands can get actually, like, really empty really fast, So... I love Deathfrog. Deathfrog is so cool. I think the art is kind of unassuming, but Tadpole is one of my favorite arts. I think Tadpole looks phenomenal as like the little demon-looking thing.
I just think it's like a neat idea. Like I said, like I'm down for more of these like smaller synergy type stuff.
Yeah,
like the Deathfrog and the or smaller packages. I guess I would say
down the line.
There's like
there's like a mystical water and earth dragon pair that I think is just so cool, like conceptually. So I know there's a few,
that's the rank 8 stuff, right? I think those are actually pretty good.
And there's
I think
like a fire hand, ice hand. There's a few pairs. At one point, I had started looking into what people were doing with like cubing and like smaller and little pairs like that were like really, really enticing. I never got around to it, but fusion recovery. Oh, okay. Yeah, well,
it's fine. I'd rather just play like Miracle Fusion
or System Down because now you've got 4 or 5 of them now.
And the playset.
There's a rival appears.
We get another Cyber Dragon in these last couple.
2 packs for the Cyber Dragon. Oh, we're gonna slow roll this. Here we go.
Oh, there we go.
Wow.
Here's the
Okay.
thing:
That's big.
is it's big, but it's mostly a fun thing
Well,
for when we get Future
it's big
Fusion.
for
The other thing
you
is we
because I know
don't.
you said you wanted it. So
Yeah, the other thing is we don't have UFO Roid.
is
So
UFO Roid in the set
it is
yet,
a
or is
yes,
it
it is a
a?
super
It's
rare
a
in this
super.
set.
Okay.
So maybe,
So
Packmasters, we might be coming back.
could it be right next door to it? Would that be? Nope.
I I
It's
don't think so.
it's just,
Oh my
it's
gosh.
just more system downs. All right. Here we go.
All right, nope. Dimension Wall. Sure,
Okay.
I would love that.
Okay.
Okay, well, we got the one Cyber Dragon, and honestly, that's kind of what you can hope for.
Yeah.
Uh,
So quick
but
look is
I'm real happy with this.
you got your. It's really funny how you got your 3 Sparkmans. Like, is that your only
Oh
triple
yeah.
from that? No. Okay. You got 3 White Ninjas, which is also not
Mhm.
the worst. But yeah, DD Survivor is really cool, and
Yes,
this
Wombat.
Wombat. Honestly, not bad from Lost Millennium and Cybernetic. I
Mhm.
mean, I think just
Oh, we got
pulling the Cyber Dragon just makes it all worth it. And then of course you've got what playsets of pretty much everything else that you wanted at
everything.
the lower rarities.
Yeah, I think I said
Six
this was a
system
short break.
downs, huh? 6 system downs.
6. Wow. 4
Well,
fire darts. Ugh.
we had originally considered doing a shop system where you could convert excess rares and stuff, but we didn't go for it just because of the complexity and kind of like needlessness of
Mhm.
it. But sometimes you look at 6 system downs and you're like, boy, I sure wish that this was other stuff. But yeah, honestly, it's so this is why I think Packmasters is going to be really interesting, where you got a lot of cool stuff from here, but the fact that you have like something like Cyber End Dragon or UFO, maybe you're going to dip a few more packs into this over time, try and pull more Cyber Dragon. Like, it's cool. Like, obviously we had limited picks this week, but in the coming weeks, we're going to have 4 sets, then 6, then 8, and so on and so forth. It's going to become more and more of a tough decision, and I think that's going to be what's super exciting to see.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see what sort of deck I can make with this too.
I'm excited to see the kind of deck that you're going to make. There's plenty of time for you to build because we're not jamming this weekend. It'll be next weekend, but I'm excited. It's going to be a really exciting episode 2, and I'm looking forward to it a lot. So, Augur, what do you have planned for us today on this match?
All right. So, after considering the type of decks that Lavender could bring, the big con is that I really can't beat Gravity Bind. So we have a lot of tech specifically for that in the sideboard, the Jerry Beans Man and the Des Wombat, but we've pivoted the main board into something a little different with this large wind package. So the gyroids, not super exciting, but they fuel the Sylphides and, more importantly, the spiritual wind art Miyabi. So that allows me to out any Gravity Bind, out any level limit area, out anything else that might be blocking my way, like an Indomitable Fighter Lele.
Yeah, that makes sense. On top of it, the gyroids are 3 stars, right? So no worries
Indeed.
there with the gravity bind.
Indeed. So let's see. So aside from that, we're also we're playing a lot of the same cards. Of course, early in this, it's tough when you have to cut the good cards. But
That's for sure.
sometimes, like Dark Core, the second Curse Steel of the Forbidden Spell, just didn't really line up with the counts the way that I would have liked. We're on a bit of a high monster count, but a lot of these, surprisingly, are spirits or special summonable. So it's a little bit different. One thing of note in the side deck is I do have some cards there for if Lavender is on more of a slow flip control deck. That was one thing I was thinking about looking at the packs was the first GX pack does have a lot of these slow flip control tools. So hopefully Medusa Worm and Guardian Statue can sort of sit there and provide a means to fight back in case that's the avenue.
I mean, at the same time, I'm also seeing 3 copies of Drillroid in there for if anyone's trying to turtle up, I would imagine, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's the other goal. Drillroid does not out the best defense position monster, Indomitable Fighter Lele. So we're just going to have to work very smartly around that.
Well, that sounds pretty good. I'm seeing you're still rocking your absolutely busted spells package, though, that you pulled from week 1 here. So, Painful Choice, you've still got United We Stand, we've got Rhoda, Snatch Steal, Torrential Tribute, Great Removal, and Bottomless Trap Hole. Honestly, you think that's still going to give you an edge? I know week, actually, I was pretty sure that you were going to take it considering the cards that you had. But how are you feeling this week? You think you got it?
Yeah, I think that I'm feeling pretty good about it. Again, Lavender was rocking the Des Feral Imp, a classic 1650, I want to say. Like, if that's the stat line he's working with, then I think that I can put up a pretty good showing before that gap starts to close with the next few sets.
Feral Imp was a 1600 attacker, 1800 defender, if I'm thinking about it correctly. Yeah.
That sounds right, too.
Yeah, I just pulled it up on the side there. I definitely didn't know this card by heart. So, yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, I think that the two of you with the packs you've opened, hopefully we're still not at 1500, 1600 beats. I think we're looking at the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
I think we've already moved on from that. So, yeah. And of course, I mean, one of the shining cards here now, Cyber Dragon, right? Cyber Dragon, you pulled one.
Absolutely.
And, yeah.
He fills a lot of slots that are really needed in this deck. He's another light. He's a free special summon. He's a big guy. The machine part, not quite as relevant. I'm not playing the Cyber End Dragon. Who knows? Maybe later.
Yeah, I was going to say, not yet at least.
So I said last episode I wasn't going to bring Gravity Binds.
Well,
I lied. I just lied. So there's a lot of funky things in this deck. First of all, I'm playing Jerry Beansman, which
I mean,
is very much a meme card, but funnily enough, I've found is playable because it's level 3 and has a decent attack stat, and that's what I need under Gravity Bind.
Yeah, honestly.
And I also have Mad Lobster, which is also level 3 with slightly worse attack, and of course, the Sonic Duck. One of my techs is Cybernetic Magician, where I can just either buff my own guys or shrink my opponent's monsters. So it's not actually for attacking. Cybernetic Magician, the goal is not to attack with it. The goal is to use it under Gravity Bind to make my guys better and his guys weaker.
The attack becomes oh, nice. All right, yeah, I can see that.
And I can target any monster on the field, not just mine. And then I have a bunch of the same stuff I was playing last week in the rest of my monsters. The only new card is Gyroid.
Got a full playset, yeah.
Yeah, full playset of Gyroid. And this is kind of an underwhelming monster for the most part. But my goal here is I have 3 equipped spells, Mask of Brutality, Mage Power, and Horn of the Unicorn. All of which are going to buff my guys, and if I can put Mage Power on Gyroid, it becomes kind of hard to deal with.
That's true. And yeah, 3-star goes under that Gravity Bind, which is pretty important here for your deck.
Let's see. Spells, I don't think anything's changed except I added Autonomous Action Unit, which is a monster reborn from their graveyard. Which I just forgot to put in last episode.
Yep, that is a pretty...
I put Trap Dust Shoot in the main because I realized that a lot of times we do have 4 or more cards in hand even after turn 1. And then Rising Energy is a bit of a spicy pick here. It's Rush Recklessly, but you have to discard a card and it's a bigger buff. But I don't have a lot of combat tricks. And I think I want that for this deck in particular. And I know Augur has Rush Recklessly, so...
yeah, it's big. 1500 is actually a lot of damage.
Pretty substantial number, yeah. And then I put in Wall of Revealing Light as well, because that is another floodgate. I don't know if they're floodgates at this point, but they're definitely stopping my opponent from doing stuff. I also have Dimensional Wall, which is just a bit of a stall card.
Yep.
And then my side deck is a bit of a transformative one.
Well, speaking of your side deck, yeah, I'm noticing a card in it. I'm noticing Cyber Dragon. So, out of curiosity, I know this was a card that you were really excited to pull. Is there a reason it's not in the main deck right off the start?
1 second. Yeah, the reason is because my deck is a Gravity Bind deck.
Okay, so you're thinking... okay, I see.
And my goal is to use Gravity Bind to stop things above level 3. It's why the only level 4 monster is New Doria.
Okay. Yep. Was just curious about that because I know the
yeah.
card is so good, right? As a really great
Yeah,
special summon, but
It's a nuts card, but
can't
I
risk it.
decided
Yep.
not to main deck it. But as you can see, my side deck is very aggressive.
Yep.
And my real spicy thing is Steamroid and Power Bond. So if I feel like I want to be more aggressive, I can side in everything I have here,
Mm-hmm.
and then Steamroid and Gyroid make Steam Gyroid, and with
Yep.
Power Bond, that is a 4400 attacker.
I'll be honest. We've never had a fusion summon happen in the Yu-Gi-Oh series. I would really love to see a fusion summon happen today. I think that would make
It
my
would be
day.
very cool.
Yep.
Unfortunately, if I had more Cyber Dragons, I think I would be on a more of a fusion strategy.
Uh-huh.
But I suspect I'm going to be playing more defensively today.
That's all right. It's going to be really interesting to see how this is different. We were talking with Augur about how this is almost like the real week 1, with the previous week being week 0, where you didn't have a lot of agency in the packs. And, after this opening, you can already see a big difference. So, yeah, I'm really excited to see what today's match is going to look like.
Yeah, let's get into the games.
Absolutely. Let's get into those games. All right, and here we go. Match 1 of week 2.
Darn.
Ooh, all right.
So on my end, as you know, I can't see the rock, paper, scissors. So I can just go like, all right,
Pick scissors.
pick the thing. And then, then it loads in. So,
So I have one, and I'm trying to consider, do I want to go first or second?
ooh.
I think I actually want to go second,
Okay.
especially since we're playing with the no draw rule set.
Here we go. All right.
Okie dokie.
Okay, I'm going to start things off pretty simple. Set 2. And summon Sonic Duck.
Oh,
All right.
we are back on the duck.
We are back on the duck.
I did not see a single one
It's
of Sonic Duck.
it's wearing a bucket on its head, right?
Yeah, it is. That's a bucket.
Sonic Duck is the best.
What about Sonic Chick?
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know if I remember that card.
Well, I don't
It's
have
in
it.
the Synchro era.
Oh, well,
It's-
okay. That would be why I don't remember it. Oh, Nobleman of Extermination here. 50-50?
Tools
Ew.
of the Bandit. Oh no. Oh,
All right, I
we
get
get
to
to look through
confirm
each
your
other's
deck.
decks here.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh,
You have
Frontier
Torrential?
Wiseman.
This is actually kind of funny, the fact that you get to look through the
Oh
decks.
god, your deck is nuts. There's so many good cards. What the hell?
Oh no.
Well, this takes a little bit of the ambiguity out of what's going to happen today.
Oh,
So,
my
surprise!
Okay, so you're on Rising Energies, Wall of Revealing Light. I'm not seeing the. Okay, there's a Gravity Bind. I was like, I'm not seeing any Gravity Binds, which means you have it in hand. Oh, Forceful Sentry. Oh wow.
Yeah. I'm seeing plenty of ban-worthy targets on your end.
I think you should leave. Wait, you have a Snatch Steal too?
I also have Snatch Steal. I
Oh
just
my
never used it.
lands.
Well, so here's the thing. Now you all know what's in the decks. Wow, that's actually a really big check here.
Uh huh. Let's see. So we will go for the Cyber Dragon.
Ooh, you pulled
Oh,
one.
and it's
You better
Oh
believe
no. My response thing was off.
oh,
Uh-oh.
It started
let me
with
turn
off
that
for
on.
some reason.
oh no.
That's actually really bad for me.
It'll be okay. It's just a duck.
It's just a duck.
Unless you're going to, bottomless, in which case that probably is pretty bad. I'm gonna go Toon Gemini Elf again.
What a start.
It was a bottomless.
There we go.
Well,
That's true. I didn't see it in the deck, I think. Alright, and we're gonna set one and pass.
we had a little bit of growing pains with the auto button as well in Yu-Gi-Oh. I would either leave it on and then get fed up and turn it off and then miss my triggers, or yeah, it's okay. It's interface error. It happens.
I don't know why it defaults to off.
You know what? I would have imagined that the default should be on, right? Considering
Yeah, I think the default on Master Duel is auto.
oh well, I agree with that. So
we're gonna run out Flying Kamakiri #1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's so good. Why isn't there a #2?
I was about to ask, is there not a number 2?
I
There
believe
is.
there is. I think it's just a vanilla.
Oh.
Ah, there we go.
Ooh.
Gyroid survives exactly one hit.
Yeah, held down the fort though, made a difference.
Indeed. Big fan of Gyroid. He's just a very funny guy. Like, the roids aren't very good, but they're very cute, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, the art's really, really toony. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's
Okay.
the one back row there.
Okay. 76, 35. I think what I do is we're gonna fire off a reinforcement of the army.
Oh god, you have that too.
Wow.
That's right. And that's right, he's back, the most powerful card from episode 1. Cliff, the trap remover.
Oh no!
Let's go, Cliff.
Boom shakalaka.
This is like the perfect board to have a Cliff, though, honestly.
Exactly. That's why the Rhoda is so potent. Okay, I will choose to destroy that card,
Yeah,
surprisingly. Oof.
that's a good hit.
Yeah.
Extremely.
I thought my week 1 pulls were good, but seeing your deck...
That's true. Now you actually get to see all the pulls, right? So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've already forgotten about half of them, but still.
Augur had a really good week 1. We can't lie about that. Augur had a really good week 1.
Well, I think that's game.
Oh, wow.
Not bottomlessing
Hey.
that Cyber Dragon.
Oof.
Turns out that was just a big mistake. And this time I'm going to go second.
Okay.
Aha. Alright, draw. Okay, this is looking pretty good. We're going to start it off with something a little similar to yours, unsurprisingly.
It's the T-Pass.
Just like Saga taught me.
Exactly. When does ordering like matter? Like the whole columns thing? Is like Mech Knight the first one to really care about it?
There we go.
Oh.
I was like, I didn't see any of this guy, but you could have had him.
All right. And
he's
then
like
I'm actually
fast.
not going to attack with him.
Absolutely.
Good luck
Best
getting
defense
over
position
him.
monster.
Lele is not for attack. It is a good blocker. Well, it's the whole Jirai Gumo thing that we were dealing with, right? You don't have to attack with Jirai Gumo. You can just leave it in face-up attack position and let somebody else do the work.
Well, off the top, we have the
Oh, that's rough.
Oh, wow.
and I'll reveal
Sangan.
this as well.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to activate Ordeal of a Traveler.
It's all good. I mean, I ripped the Tsukiyomi off the top, so with my luck, I will just call it correctly. So statistically here, I should call monster or spell. We're going to go monster or creature swap. Okay, well.
Oh, and that's continuous, huh?
Indeed.
Yeah.
So let's think here. So we know the creature swap. The other 3 could be... Oh my god, you didn't set the bottomless. That's brave.
Yeah,
That's
I didn't
brave.
set the
All right, well.
bottomless.
There goes the whole board.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, I mean, one of them was a spirit, right? It was going back to the hand anyway.
Still, it means I got no advantage off of summoning the spirit.
I mean, you can play it again next turn.
That's true.
Ooh, we get to show off the Mad Lobster.
Mad Lobster.
What is with that face? He looks like what's the thing?
He's
Kiss?
mad.
I love the flavor text. Mad Lobster is a gourmet food. Wow, already at 4K though. Wow. Okay.
Indeed.
Big beats. I really am enjoying the Ordeal of a Traveler paired with Lele. That feels really good here.
Yeah. Ordeal of a Traveler is secretly really annoying.
Secretly. Yeah, but you can do a lot of plays like Lavender has done where you're not setting the traps in order to keep this at a true, like, 1 in 3.
That's true.
We're gonna... love to run out Sangan. Here's the problem is, I think if I miscall here, it's over. So we're going to run out Twin-Headed Behemoth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the one that once per duel, yeah, okay, comes back. Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to pass turn. I should have said that, probably.
Uh-oh.
All right. I think it's time to go all in.
Oh,
Gyroid? All right.
Gyroid. Oh, boy.
That's a big Gyroid. Yep.
Oh
a
my
big-
gosh.
Yep, that's a... Oh, yep, that's a... Oh, my lands. Oh, my lands.
The music knows what's going on. Oh my gosh.
Oh, my toggle! No! I can't believe it.
Is this how it's going to end
also
today?
lost. Oh, no. Oh, no.
God. Augur, Lavender, the
Dang.
viewers are going to roast us. Turn on
I believe it.
turn on the toggle. It's going to be the...
Deserved, honestly. Deserved. First or second? I think we go second again.
Alrighty, here we go.
All right. Best of luck.
This is it. Okay. Check to make sure you're on auto.
Yep.
All good on both of you?
Yep.
All right, we're in business. Let's do this.
Exciting.
Very exciting first turn.
I mean, cards are down.
Ooh. Not loving this. We're gonna go reinforcement of the army.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're thinking on it. Maybe there's more than just a, what is it, cliff in there? Or...
There is. I have put in Elemental Hero Sparkman.
Ooh.
Who will now be summoned to the field.
That's fine.
Static Shockwave cuts off the path of villainy. Alright, you got the ordeal again? Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
Gyroid.
Just
All
a
right.
gyroid.
Defensive tool. Okay, we will set 1,
I mean, yeah, that's what it's there for.
set 2, and pass. His Static Shockwave cuts off the path of villainy. Is Gyroid a villain then? Or is he not a villain because he survived?
I'm not sure, but I'm going to tribute summon
Ooh.
Cybernetic
Oh.
Magician.
My lands. Okay, well, I do have the bottomless, but that
Fortunately, I have 7 tools.
No! It was banished game 1. Oh, no.
We have a match on our hands.
And now I'm going to start going
Oh
crazy.
my gosh.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
Oh,
my
you're going
gosh.
crazy.
Yeah.
Ow. Okay, so
Ah,
I got
that's such
2
a big hit.
turns. Oh, yeah. Okay. Alright, well, I'm firing this off now.
Yeesh.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yep, we're gonna have to see here. Because... Of course, there are cards that... you will just not give me. Like, period.
If you ask politely, maybe Lavender will.
Somehow I doubt that. We're gonna do this. Oh, I think that does not win me the game either. I mean, I would love to pick the Snatch Steal here, but that would be going straight to the graveyard. The other thing is that's all the cards in your hand, so I could just bank on you not having any follow-up. No, I think I have to go for it. This. Didn't know, because if you out that, ugh, this is hard. This.
Sounds like it's a real painful choice you have to make.
the
It truly. Wait,
real.
could you starts with the same name for this?
This
Yeah, you
isn't.
can.
Yeah.
I think we just do this then. We just. No, that puts me in a bad position for the whole rest of the game. Okay, we do this. We do this. All right.
All right, you have a lot of options here.
Can you read them off?
Yeah, Tribute to the Doomed, Tsukiyomi, Twin-Headed Behemoth, Book of Moon, and Gyroid. I think
Okay.
I'm going to give you Twin-Headed Behemoth.
Yeah, I'm not able to see the cards until they all get binned. There they go.
Indeed.
Yeah, this just seems like the right move.
Sounds good, unfortunately. We'll be setting and passing.
All right.
Mhm.
I will
It's
pay
like
1,000 life
magician.
points.
Worth
Is it
it.
like a Cybers nowadays?
What?
Like he looks kind of like what you would expect a Cybers guy to look like.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, kind of.
Actually, I said
Bit.
that. He really does not. He just looks like a normal
Oh,
guy.
you know what? No, zooming
There's
in.
noth-
Zooming in, it's much
there's
closer to
nothing
the old.
cybernetic about him.
Yeah.
He's definitely a magician, though.
I get the head
That-
shape, but yeah, zooming in, it's clearly this very old classic, the magician style cloaks and hats and little collar thing going on. But yeah, it is cybernetic, which is kind of funny considering how early we are in Yu-Gi-Oh's existence here.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what do I do here? I actually have a lot of different plays.
Oh boy.
The question is, what do I think that back row is?
Could be anything.
It quite literally could be anything. Actually, here's a really easy way to resolve this issue. We're going to fire off the Spiritual Wind Art Miyabi to destroy it.
Okay.
Or on the bottom, so I actually don't get to know what it is. Because due to searching Sparkman and sending Tsukiyomi,
Oh no.
we now have Chaos Sorcerer on the field.
Okay,
And now you get to banish my guy.
Oh,
That's-
absolutely.
that's huge.
disastrous for me.
That's huge.
Okay, and then to prevent him from getting outed immediately, we're gonna go United.
Yeesh.
Pass it back.
Well, unfortunately, all I can do is set a monster.
Yeah, so we know the other card is the Horn of Light, or the Unicorn's Horn, or whichever
One of
it
the
is.
unicorn.
Alright, so we're gonna
that's
summon
true,
Flyer
yeah.
Kamakiri. Oh, he's bigger now. I forgot.
Yeah,
about that.
United We
Yes.
Stand is kind of a nuts card.
Indeed. Okay,
Okay.
you know what we're gonna do here? We're gonna go
You're gonna
second
banish
main.
him.
Yeah. Oh!
Oh my god.
The two buttons were too close to each other.
Uh-oh.
Wow, this is just a comedy of errors.
That's a good
Okay.
name for the episode, A Comedy of Errors.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe
The real enemy was the interface all along.
extremely true.
That's
So-
also a good name for the episode.
So what's really funny, Augur, is that I don't know if you'd watched the Yu-Gi-Oh episodes, but do you know how often that exact thing happened? The go to attack, but instead we're still on the main, and we instead set our monsters in defense position.
Oh my gosh.
It was-
I remember the toggles, but not that.
It was Zphil's special ability. Jirai Gumo to defense position was kind of a...
No.
Yeah, it feels really bad when it happens.
Let me think. Oh, I think I do remember because one time you passed back and forth.
We did it once because we're like, hey, that really sucks. Like this totally changes the match. But after that, we're like, at this point, you've got the 999 second turns. Like you can afford to take your time.
Well, I think this will wrap it up.
Really?
Okay.
My Zaborg, the Thunder.
Oh my
Monarch.
god, you got Zaborg too?
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Oh, and that was the
That will be lethal.
Wiseman.
That will be
gosh.
lethal. God, your pool is so much better than mine.
Whew.
I think you
Zaborg
made
was
yours
from
do
the
work.
first episode, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Alrighty.
Good games, as good as they could have been with Arch
Good
Brain at the
games.
helm.
All right. Whew. What a match here on week 2. A few little interface bugs, but let's call it a teachable moment. And I'm sure that going forward, those won't ever happen again. So
Absolutely not.
never again.
Never again.
It happened to me once, it happened to Lavender once. You know, that's kind of what you would hope for when that sort of thing happens.
I will say, there was also the extra shift over to defense position, but didn't end up mattering. So, it's okay. It's a tried and true Yu-Gi-Oh strategy to accidentally tilt yourself into defense position. But thankfully, it didn't cost the game here. So, how are we feeling after week 2? The decks already look quite different. I will say right off the bat, I know Lavender, you were going in with high hopes of pulling off something today. How did that go?
Oh?
Not so well. I had Gravity Bind in my deck, as you may suspect, and it didn't particularly work. I had a little secret combo with the sideboard, but I didn't actually side it in.
Okay.
So.
Well, I mean, there's always next week, right? The card's not going anywhere, so
That's true.
it's just the fact that it exists means it's something that players have to play around, keep an eye on.
Absolutely.
All right.
I will say I am terrified. I said I was terrified last time, but this time I've actually seen the deck now, and I know it's full of broken stuff.
Yeah, Augur's got a lot of... You have good things. I think Augur's week 1 pool was absurd, I think would be a good word to use. There's some really good stuff in there. So that's okay. It's it gives a good challenge to slowly dismantle that deck apart. And as we said, if in X number of episodes, if we're ready for it, we will move into sort of like a Hall of Faming, right? And I'm sure there'll be moments where we can get rid of some of those cards and balance out the equation. But what's really funny is that I thought the week 1 advantage was going to be really clear on Augur, but Lavender, you took the win if I remember. So
I did, yes.
Which is funny because it's kind of like in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Where doing so meant that Augur was behind, therefore you won the bragging rights, but Augur got the extra packs, but Augur's pool was already... Anyway, it was kind of funny how it plays out, which is... I know how it is when we reward the person who gets second, but their pool is nuts. Anyway, it ended up mattering very little, I think, in terms of the amount of packs. We're opening, 3 extra packs, but it is fun. So you'll be the one with those 3 extra packs today. And speaking of extra packs, there's something special that's going to happen, right? As we said, every week we are opening up the card pool by an extra 2 sets. So we had started with, I'm just going to scroll right back down, Lost Millennium and Cybernetic Revolution. So speaking of those 2 sets, before I go into what we're adding in next, did either of you want to kind of discuss, now that you're both talking to each other and not just to me, kind of what your strategy going in was on those first 2, or do you still want to keep that kind of secret until the episode comes out? And
I'm open to it.
because I think it was pretty interesting, and I will say you were both pretty close on what the strategy was. So if you want to, maybe Lavender, because I think we opened packs first with you. So Lavender, what was your strategy going into the week 1 pack opening?
One moment.
Bless you.
So my strategy was just to go all in on Cybernetic Revolution.
If I remember, you didn't open a single pack of Lost Millennium, right?
Nope.
No Millennium. Go away.
No Lost Millennium. I just didn't think the card quality was good enough overall. And the existence of the card Drillroid specifically invalidated a lot of flip strategies.
That's true.
And Augur, what about you? It was something similar, but not quite.
Yeah, so I want to say 5 packs into Lost Millennium.
Yeah, it was like 5 or 6. It was very...
to high roll some of those rares, and just pick up, a smattering of the flip guys. But also specifically for Sparkman.
Yep, that was it.
He actually pulls a very important
Yeah.
niche.
Dug for Sparkman.
Oh, you needed a light monster.
A
Yeah, so
light,
reinforcement of the army. I did not just have a good warrior guy I could search. It was
Yeah.
like Cliff and Disc Fighter.
a light warrior
Right.
Now
was
reinforcement picks up a dark or a light, and the utility guy or a strong guy.
yeah. So so just so people know, Lost Millennium and Cybernetic Revolution are still on the table. We are not rotating packs. If ever we have to in the future, we'll let you know. But these packs are still in the shop. So both players could still throw all of their packs into those two sets. I doubt anyone's touching Lost Millennium for a bit, but Cybernetic Revolution is definitely still on the table. But as we said, we're going to be adding the two next core sets. We said that because of the amount of sets that there are, we would be skipping the bonus sets, which means that the next two are Elemental Energy and Shadow of Infinity, if I remember correctly. We will not be going into Duelist Pack 1 and 2, Jaden Yuki and Chaz Princeton, right?
No idea.
Chaz, what's this person's name? Princeton. Yeah, okay, Chaz Princeton. So it'll be Elemental Energy, and it's going to be Shadow of Infinity. So now there's going to be 4 total packs that are open, right? So I mean, if there's stuff in those packs that are quite neat. There's some that I remember. I think this is around the era that I kind of was still playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, I still remember Demise, King of Armageddon. I thought was like the coolest thing because when you're a teenager and you can have a card that's like End of the World, it feels really cool. But it'll be interesting to hear what your strategy is going into week 3. And now that there's a bit of a diversity in the packs that you open, whether or not it's going to be all-ins or a smattering here and there. And that'll just continue as we open more and more packs, right?
Yep.
At this stage in the game, though, it's kind of hard to deny the new stuff, especially because we've got Karma Cut, we've got the Dark Worlds, and a lot of other good stuff, too.
There's a lot of... Even Treeborn Frog.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I have a feeling our decks are going to change pretty drastically in the next episode.
Yeah. There's like I said, there's a lot of packs in the line, right? 30 packs we said?
Yep.
So, yeah, 30 and 33 respectively. So, honestly, decks are going to be changing up quite a bit. It'll be nice when we finally hit like the real big archetype packs down the road and like being able to commit more than 1 week's worth to like actually pulling full playsets of higher rarity cards. I think is going to be really interesting from a progression point of view.